Hey, Dana here on Tuesday, May 10th, 2016. Today I want to give you my number one prospecting tip, and that is, it depends. Now, I know that's not what you want to hear, but over the years, this is what I've learned about prospecting. I prefer for clients to find me. I prefer inbound marketing tactics, like having a great website, having great profiles, different places, having people be referred to me, having return clients. You want them to find your videos on YouTube and say, oh my gosh, I have to have videos just like that, or hear your voiceover in something, or hear your music used in something. But that's just not always how it happens. Second in line is networking, because you want them to be moved by the power of your expertise. You want them to see you in action amongst people, whether it's in-person networking, where you're able to describe to them what you can provide, or whether it's within a social network, and they're able to see the power of your words and your content in social networking. As we walk down towards deeper interrupt marketing and more traditional marketing, you have what I consider lead buying, which for creatives includes those marketplaces and pay-to-play websites, voiceover community people. You all know exactly what I'm talking about. You're buying leads when you do that. You're buying the opportunity to audition. It's not an agency. It's not somebody doing outreach on your behalf. There are jobs there that if you figured out how much you're paying for a membership versus how many leads that are actually viable leads for you that you can follow up on. It doesn't guarantee you the job, but it does guarantee you the leads. It's no different than salespeople who buy leads, really, other than there's a creative component to it. I don't do a lot of that anymore, and I replaced it with a deeper level of interrupt marketing, which is cold calling, cold emails, slightly warm emails, those kinds of things where you're actually being the person contacting outright and seeing if they need your services. It's not easy to be a creative and do that because you're not meeting them with your craft. They're not seeing your portfolio and being moved by it. They're not hearing your demos and being moved by them. You're asking them to opt in. You're asking them to take action when they didn't ask for your action. It's always been difficult for me to do that, not because of shyness or any lack of confidence in my abilities, but because as a media company, as a production studio, I get a lot of that kind of stuff. I get a lot of people. It's not as much as it used to be because I started to put on social networks that I didn't want it. But I used to have a lot of people just mail me demos or mail me music samples. And we had never met, we had never talked, but they were hitting me with files that I was never going to open because if I don't know you, I am not going to risk my computer safety over a file that I may or may not even want. So I got a little turned off to the idea of cold emails and cold calls, really, because I don't know what to tell you when you call. I mean, if I like your voice on the phone, I can be like, oh, okay, well, you can send me stuff. But it does make me have to promise a deeper level of commitment to your outreach. And if I don't necessarily have anything right in front of me that I can think of that I want to use you for, then you're going to go right back to the back of my mind as soon as I listen, because I just don't have anything to use that for. You're much better off connecting with me on a network and then staying active, speaking to me. I will remember you that way. It has nothing to do with talent. It has nothing to do with a lot of different variables other than I will remember you because you're right there. And that's the danger in thinking that everybody else does it your way. In my mind, they don't want that call, but then I make the call sometimes, and that's the perfect way to reach a creative director. I may hit on a really good day, and they're like, great, send me some stuff. I've gotten work doing that. When I learned to stop trusting doing it just my way, I have a friend who is a music supervisor for a very large, well-known movie company. And I thought I'd really hit pay dirt one day I wanted to pick her brain a little bit and she was open to it. And I was like, all right, now I'm going to learn the secret to submitting music to music supervisors, because I know they've got some secret way in which they want it. And so I thought I had all the right questions too. And I was like, describe to me your ideal way of getting contacted by a composer or a musician or a publishing house, what they're going to contact you with, what they're going to say. Give me that experience. Just lay it out there for me. And I was just going to replicate whatever she said. And she was like, well, you could do email blasts. I learn about a lot of people through email blasts. And I was just like, what? That is exactly what I don't want to do. And that's when I just learned that you cannot base it on what you want. Now, I'm going to go back to it depends for a minute. How you learn what it depends on is by this, which is actually my number one prospecting tip. Research your prospect. Know how they want things. And I don't just mean ask them. That is a method. If you get them on the phone, you can ask, how would you like me to send you this? But really, just spend some time on their social networks if they have them. Spend some time on their website. Go deep in that. Learn about their projects. Really start seeing if you're an actual fit. And then get a very clear idea of why you're going to make them money. I know creatives out there, we just want to hear that they're going to be dazzled by us and they're going to make us money. But by concentrating on what you can do for their bottom line, how you can save them time, how you can create a workflow that will benefit both of you, but stress when you speak to them, however that first meeting happens, how it benefits them. This is a selling experience, even if it's not the actual selling experience where there's a money exchange. You just need to get them to opt in, to care about opening a second email that has your file in it once you get that permission. And if it's not the best way, like me, I try to be upfront and say, you know what, I got calls from you, but I'm probably not going to call you back just because I don't really do phones. And I'm not like a big phone person. And you will know that about me when you see me on social media. When you listen to things like this, that is the greatest thing you can do. So do your research, care about your prospect, care about their bottom line and their time and not wasting it, and you will in turn care about your bottom line and not waste your own time. That's my number one prospecting tip. I'll talk to you tomorrow.